channel. We've got a push day in store today. We are here at Limbo Gym in Adelaide, South Australia. So before we got into the first of the main movements today, I warmed up on a superset of face pulls and pec deck to get everything warmed up and firing. I like to hit some rear delts in my push day warm-ups to set the shoulders into the proper alignment. I'd advise giving it a go before any pressing movements and see how that goes for you. So exercise 1, we're starting on the Smith machine with a high incline. As we did with the leg day, we have 2 working sets, 1 heavy and 1 back off set. Smith machine press, we're looking at taking it through a full range of motion all the way down to the chest, or at the very least chin level, pausing at the bottom and then pressing back up. I've got the bench set to a high incline because the session today is a combination of an upper chest and delt session. With this angle we can hit the upper chest but still hit the front delt from a safe angle that isn't directly overhead, which personally feels horrible for me. Working set, we took 65 kilos for 10 and then backed it off to 40 kilos for 18 reps, which was a 1 rep progression on each of these 2 sets from the previous time I ran this session. Exercise number 2, we ran with another incline press, this time a low incline with the barbell. This has been one of my favourite pressing movements since transitioning into the improvement season. Can never have enough upper chest development. I favour the low incline, probably approximately a 30-degree angle, as it isn't too much shoulder but still a very strong position, close to a flat bench. Once again, I'm taking these through a full range of motion, touching the chest and performing a powerful concentric with a controlled eccentric. I took 87.5 kilos for the heavy work set and managed a 1 rep progression here, and then backed off to 60 kilos for 17 completed reps with 2 attempted reps, which ultimately resulted in a failure. This back off set was actually a regression from the previous week, but technique maintained throughout was likely better with this session over last time. Stubbornly, I'm chasing 20 reps on this back off set before I take a weight progression. We'll get there eventually. To exercise number 3, we have a change to the program this week from previous runs. I decided to put some more volume into the chest this cycle, so I removed 3 sets of lateral raises in favour of 3 additional sets for the chest. These 3 sets came in the form of a neutral grip dumbbell press, which I paired with a chest dip. Dips can be performed for a triceps bias or a chest bias, purely based on your body angle. So if you're more upright, it will be more of a tricep focused. More angled will bias the chest to a greater degree. So as I said, 3 supersets here. First set was body weight dips, then we added weight for sets 2 and 3. With the weight increasing for both sets. I was chasing 20 reps on all of the sets of dips, however fell just shy of that 20th rep on the 3rd set with 30 kilograms added. On the neutral grip dumbbell press, we were purely setting a baseline here. So with these, we're keeping elbows close to the body so there is some tricep involvement. But with the finished position being similar to a dumbbell fly, it feels very similar to that sort of movement. Now, while you can't purely isolate the chest, the inner chest per se, the feel is that of an inner chest contraction, quote unquote. From there, we moved on to a dumbbell fly for exercise number 4, which I slightly regressed on this week on account of the additional chest volume. but that's to be expected. I never really used to feel the dumbbell fly all that much, but since transitioning into the improvement season, I have refined my technique on these and have found that adding a slight pause at the bottom of the movement has really helped with the mind-muscle connection. By adding that pause in, I've found that I can really initiate the movement with the chest and isolate the pecs without bringing in too much shoulder. So just to go further on the execution of the dumbbell fly, I make sure I'm spending some extra time in both end ranges, so I have a pause at the bottom, initiate the movement with the pecs, and then have a good squeeze at the top of each rep. You'll also notice I'm not going really wide with these and favour dropping my elbows below the line of my body where I can. This way I can get a deep stretch at the bottom, but am still in a favourable position for the elbows and shoulders to push out of the hole. With the chest being done, we move into some delt work with a 3-way lateral raise. This week we're looking to refine this technique. I believe front raises should only be taken to eye level to keep tension on the shoulders, essentially my active range of motion. Whether it is actually a full range of motion could be debated. On the lateral raises, I'm not going high on these as I'm focusing on keeping my arms straight to really bias the load on the medial delts. Now with a lateral raise, I'm thinking about taking the dumbbells as wide as possible rather than lifting them high. This way I can keep my traps from taking over the movement. The technique will change slightly on a standing lateral raise, but the mindset is still the same, which is take dumbbells out rather than up. Finally, with rear raise, I'm taking my elbows out at a 45-degree angle. This is where I find I can initiate the movement with the rear delts and not have my traps take over the movement. Triceps up next with these cable skull crushers using the prime handle. Really cool setup as it allows you to adjust the width of the handle to best suit your body. I favour cable skull crushers over the easy bar or a barbell as they tend to tear my elbows up, which I've just had to learn the hard way once again. Every time I start to load up on the bar for skull crushers, my elbows will shit themselves. And sure enough, we got to that point and I've had to make the change to cable once again. No more barbell skull crushers for me until next time, so if anyone sees me doing them, please slap me. And to finish off today's session, we have some cable curls, once again with the prime handle set up to perfectly fit my body type. So I have incorporated a few sets of biceps in at the end of my push days just to increase the frequency on my biceps, as they are a body part I want to improve in this off-season period. By having them on my push days, they are getting some attention up to 3 times per week every week. I only have between 2 and 6 sets of biceps on each of these sessions, so it's not a great deal of volume, but enough each session to stimulate growth. Curls are pretty simple and not a lot to consider. However, the tip that I've found that works for me with biceps is not being so rigid and strict with technique. Having the elbows locked into your sides is something that gets preached a lot, but I find lifting the elbows slightly to exaggerate the peak contraction has been really beneficial for me. I started doing this with my bicep curls last year and had a noticeable difference to my biceps this year on stage. Give it a go for yourself and see if it makes a difference, because every guy wants bigger arms. Alright, that's a wrap on the session. Thanks for watching. Make sure you please like, share and subscribe. Check out the previous video and turn on post notifications so you get updated about future videos. New videos dropping regularly. See you in the next one.